Hello and welcome to another edition of Micks Mowers, and in today's edition we're going to be looking at a part exchange that came in. I sold a mower yesterday, which is fantastic news, very early on in the season as well. I always offer a part exchange on any old non-running complete mowers, just as an incentive for people to purchase mine as well and to get rid of their old mowers that perhaps aren't working. The mower I part exchange or came in as part exchange is in particularly rough condition and it's not in sale worthy condition. However, it could be good for parts or even possibly a spare engine. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty and let's check out this part X. Okay, and here's the little part X that came in. So it's a Champion with a 3.5 Classics on the top. It also comes with a grass box as well, dead man's handle, all that sort of stuff. The exhaust is actually hanging off, as you can see. That's not in particularly good shape, but there is actually a big hole or something hidden behind the duct tape. So the actual deck base is no good at all. That's had it. It's a 2002 model, and he bought it in, part exchanged it, because it was non-running. He couldn't get it to go at all. So I haven't tried this engine whatsoever, but I'll give it a couple of goes and just see what happens. It may be good just for cables and spares, but I'm hoping to get this engine running, get the engine off of it, and I may have a spare deck somewhere that we can fit it to give us another engine. So let's try and give it a couple of pulls over and see what happens. Check the oil levels first off, just to make sure it will take a start. It doesn't look like there's much oil in there. There's absolutely no oil in this machine at all. So before I even attempt to start that, let's get a bit of oil inside it. Okay, so I'm just going to put some oil in, and this is going to be the SAE 30 style oil. So there's none in here at all, so that's not a good sign. Let's put a bit in. I don't want to waste too much time and effort on this engine if it's going to be a complete non-runner. Should be enough. We'll get a bit of rag. Whilst that's running down, just check the air filter, see what that looks like as well. There's a lot of deposits on the back end of this, a lot of leaf litter and what have you. Word. There's the oil filter. That looks a bit yummy. All the springs are in place, which is good to see on the governor, and the vane moves to and fro, so that's good. I'll leave the air filter off just for a minute whilst we try to start this engine. Let's see what that looks like now. It's got a bit of oil in it. Just over the overfill mark. That'll do for now though. I'm going to take a little bit out. It's only over by about 2 or 3 mil, but that'll do for now, just so we have got some more in there. But a little bit too much and not enough. I'll leave the air filter off, so that's defunct. Let's check the fuel situation. A little bit of fuel in there, and it looks to be stale. So let's chuck a bit of new stuff in there. Let's see if it primes. primes really well. Yeah, okay, so we've got a priming carburetor. Right, let's give it a couple of pulls. Let's see what happens. Oh, fuel cap back on. Dead man's hand in. Okay, so it's a runner. It's hunting, but that may be due to the fact of the air filter. So I'm going to go get an air filter, put one in, and see how it runs after that. Right. So I don't actually have a brand new filter, but I've got one here which has been cleaned. It'll do for task for now. It's a lot better than the one that originally came with the engine. As you can see, that's shot. So this one will do. So I part exchange this mower. I give the man £5 for this, but you know the cables alone are £15. The carburetor, tank and airbox, they're worth £20 to £30. Pull cord assembly £15. Exhaust, they're worth a tenner. Exhaust guard, they're worth a fiver. So you know, already I'm into profit if I decide just to break this engine down rather than just try and get it running. But it looks like it's going to run, so with the air filter now on, let's see how it now performs. Get a couple more squirts. Dead man's handle needs adjustment, I would say. So that'll do. We have a running engine. I just want to check to make sure that the oil still hasn't gone from underneath. There's a little bit of oil residue on there. It's not excessive. It could just be dirt and grime. I'll give that a clean off, and when we go to run it, I can test it, but it may just be due to the fact that it's never been looked after. So I might decide to keep this engine and have it put on another lawnmower. Let's get stripping down. Right, let's get into it. First one to come off will be the dead man's handle cable. I'll take it off of this end rather than the other to begin with. So all I want is to put along those pliers in there just to get a hold of that. And just pinching in with 2 tabs either side, and that releases the cable. So that's the dead man gone. Okay, I want to tip the lawnmower up on its side and take the blade off. But before I do that, I want to take the air filter back off. I'll take the carb and tank off as well, just so when I tip it over, it's not going to cause too many issues with petrol or oil mixing. in between with 2. So it should be a 3/8 on the front. And then a 1/2 inch on the back. I've got a bowl here just to keep all my bits to one side so I don't lose any bits. That'll be a 1/2 inch or 13, that's a 1/2 inch. I have got another deck here, which is a cheaper version. Unfortunately, I don't have no metal decks left, and it is not quite the beginning of the season yet, so the spares aren't coming in as thick and fast as I would like. So I have got a slightly cheaper deck it can go on if I got all the bits to it. So just remove a tank and carb by slowly pulling it off of the engine, grabbing hold of a linkage at the top, and just lift the linkage up and tilt the tank back. And all that grime on there, look, so that's all will be cleaned off. So much dirt and muck. And the good thing is there's lots of oil residue on here as well, all around, so I'm guessing it's not the bottom seal that's gone. Spark plug HT lead has been removed, so the engine can now be tipped up onto its side. Let's drop you guys down a smidge so you can see what's going on. And here's a blade that's in good condition, it's blunt, but all the pins are in place. Let me just fire my my impact gun up. Right, it should be a 14mm. Yeah, that'll go on there. Airline. Into reverse. So this air gun's new to me. I've only trialled it a few times, so but already it's proving its worth. Right, so the blade's off. Just want to get this socket off of this nut and washer. A bit of a tap. It's a bit stuck. There it goes. That all goes into a bucket. Next thing I want to do is look at these 3 securing bolts that leave the engine on. I'll leave the boss on for now. Let me have a quick tidy up and I'll come back. Right, I'm going to give this a go with my impact gun. I've not used it for this before. Let's see how it does with this. My compressor may cut in, so to bear with the noise. Is that on reverse? It is. Yeah, straight off. So this is where I've been really struggling with lawnmowers before I got this little impact. So this only cost me 38 quid off of Amazon. If you check out my impact video, it'll actually give you the link as to where I got it. And it's making light work of these. This would normally be a half-hour exercise to get these little babies off. Let me get the impact gun on there and then go on the other side just to put the ring spanner on. Right, I need to get an open-ended spanner. Let's grab a 1/2 inch spanner quickly. Right, got my 1/2 inch on. Just turn the lawnmower around the other way. blade boss itself actually came off, so that's good. Right, let's get this engine up on its top. Right, the engine's now off, which is good. So the bits I'm going to be keeping off of this lawnmower will be the wheels. I should just take these little tiny covers off. The wheels will come off, the height adjusters will all come off. I should be taking the handles off, all the nuts and bolts that go with that. I'll be taking the back guard off and the back flap assembly, and that's pretty much it. The rest will just go for scrap. But it may serve for another engine as and when I get one. So let's get rid of this one now and we'll bring the new one in. Okay, and here's the new donor body. So it's one of these cheaper plastic ones. I don't know when the date of this was, 2014. Well, the engine certainly isn't, but this is one that came in, the engine was completely stuffed and had it. The wheels are a bit seized, want a bit of an all up, but most of it's here. I've just got to locate some of the other top bits for it, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. I've probably got them tucked away in my shed somewhere, but and I'm sure I've got a grass bag for it. So first things first, let's double check to see if the engine actually fits. So there's two holes on the side, and one over the far side. So that all fits and the engine lines up, which is good. So I just want to get these engine bolts fitted, and then that'll be the engine actually installed, but then we'll have to double check that the height is correct. Okay, so now that's all on, and my little Riley boy's turned up to say hello. Say hello, Riley.
Hi.
Are we going to sulk? He's not doing very well today because he's got a bit of a cold on him, and as you know, he's got additional needs as well. So he's just woken up from his mid-morning nap because he's been awake since about 2 o'clock this morning. He wakes up every morning at 2 o'clock in the morning, and he always will do. He has tantrum problems and behavioural problems, but he'll settle down in a minute, come and say hello, no doubt. Right, so the engine is now on and bolted and all secure. That's not going anywhere, so happy with that. My only concern is that when I put the blade boss on, is it going to be deep enough to the blade to make contact with the ground. I've got a selection of bosses, but I would like to try and keep it as original as possible. Let me just get some gloves on, and then we'll try and fit that. Right, let's get the boss and the keyway. And I took that off. There it is, hiding. So the keyway goes in that little tiny hole, just there, like so. And then the boss then goes on top of that. Let's see if this blade's going to fit. Number one, it goes that way. Cool, it's not a bad fit. It seems a little bit too high, I would say. But let's fit it loosely. Let's see what it gives us. If not, I've got another blade attachment, which might be a bit longer. And you certainly don't want it too low. So let's just nick that up a smidge. Just try and get a rotation on it without it striking the body. Don't want to strike anywhere. It's just going to strike just there, look. Ever so slightly. It just strikes there, but not a lot. And it is on there. So, okay, I might just try and find another blade boss, see what I've got in my arsenal, and see if we can improve that. Right, so I have found an alternative blade boss. As you can see, this one is a lot shallower, so that goes on, and just got to find a blade that fits it. This isn't the one, but as you can see, it now will sit just on the protruding edge. I don't think it's quite down home enough yet. one's a smidge more. I'm not going to fit this to it, but this is just for the purpose. If I can get it to fit just over one of them lugs. Right, let me find a blade to that, and then hopefully we'll have a winner. Right, I can't actually find the blade to go with it, but it'd be in the shed. I've got a whole stack of them. Where's the blades, Riley? Down there. Has the blades? Yeah, show me. I've got a whole stack of them all over the shed. Whenever I get a mower come in, I always keep them. So it will be here somewhere. So that'll do for. I'll find one a bit later on, won't we, Riley?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find one later on. So you settle down now. It's a time to process, which is good. Right. So I'll leave that for now, and then I want to get on and get the handles assembled, all that sort of good stuff. So let me tip the lawnmower back on its side, and we'll carry on, shall we?
Yeah.
Righto. Right, so we've got a bit of oil spillage where we've had the engine up on its side for so long. So just wipe some of that off. I'll do a bit more detailed clean up a bit later on, but that's always a way when you've got head engines set up. I've got a bit on the table, I think. Yeah, quite a bit on the table. It's been sick everywhere, so that's to be expected. It'll probably smoke quite a bit when I fire it up. Right, let me see if I can find these handles that go with this mower. I think I've got a pretty good candidate. This would come off of something that's very similar if it's not the actual one for it, but if they're not too far out. I need to check the height of it. But let me run some bolts in there and see if we can get it to fit. What are we after? Some finished bolts. These are just roofing, straight guttering bolts, that sort of thing. And they do the job pretty well. So 2 bolts, 2 nuts, 2 washers. I can just literally grind these off when it's done. It's already got a dead man's hand or a dead man's cable already on it. I go in there with a washer. And a nut on there. One on the t'other side. I can't get over the channel's doing so well at the moment, up to somewhere between about 70 subscribers, but I'm not really concerned about the subscribers. It's more the community that amazes me. People ask you questions and say you're doing well and all that sort of thing. I've been messaging a gentleman, he's out in America, Doug Sweener. Really nice gent. He's going through some rough times at the minute, but he's always got time to respond to a message or what have you, which is fantastic. As well as our own colleagues over here who are doing it. Jacko from a small engine repair, we have regular conversations. And of course Martin Butler. He's a star anyway. I mean, he's the reason I started doing this in the first place, really. Let me just nick these up. But yeah, no, the channel's doing quite well. So I'm not overly concerned about subscribe to this and subscribe to that. Either you want to watch or you don't. It's as simple as that, really. But hopefully you might learn something and enjoy it on the way. That's what I think. Let me just get this off the table quick. I just want to see how high that is. Otherwise I might have to list it to someone that's only 4 foot tall. So let's just see how high that is. Oh. Yeah, that'll do me. So I'm 6'2". So that'll do for what I need. Handle's a bit screw width now. I want a screw wound in the side of these, which I'll do that later. Okay, so that's that. I need to just find a dead man's handle that'll fit it, so I can put it onto the engine. So let me fish one of them out of the old shed, see if I've got a spare dead man's handle. Right, I've got something that sort of fits. This doesn't look too bad. So I just want to try and connect it to the engine. See if it'll stretch out far. Hoping it will. It's nice and red in colour, so that means danger. Put that on there. See if that'll pull back enough just to give me that. And is that clearing? Yeah, yeah, it works. That'll do it. So I pulled it off of an old scrap mower I had round the side. I don't know if you can see that. Let's get in a bit closer and down a bit, it'll be good. And now you'll be able to see when I operate with dead man's handle, if you can get that, on this switch here, it needs to clear the switch, which it's doing. Yeah, so that's working. Good. Right, happy with that. Still got to find a blade yet, but I'm convinced I've got one in here somewhere, so that shouldn't be too much of a drama. I want to take the pull cord assembly off next, just to have a clean up, because all the oil's been spilt, and literally it's a 3/8 bolt here, 3/8 bolt on the side here, and a 3/8 on the bolt side here. Just undo those 3 bolts and that'll lift off. Let's get it done. Right, that's the 3 bolts undone. I've got a little tiny silly one to do just on the front here, because the exhaust guard is actually broken. That's why it was hanging off, but I should have a spare one of them also. So let me undo this nut here quickly, get rid of the exhaust guard.
Daddy.
Hi little boy. Okay, you can come and help back, of course you can. Right, so just remove the exhaust guard. Yeah.
It's your head on?
Yeah, it's gone now, mate. Yeah, it's gone.
Where?
Loud. Yeah. My boy doesn't like loud noises, so things like grinders and compressors doesn't like them. So Riley,
Yeah.
we've got a choice of 2 exhaust shields to put on. Both will fit.
Door?
Exhaust shields, yeah.
Why?
Which one should we choose? This one or this one? You
I
choose.
choose this one.
You choose that one? Okay, so let's get rid of the other one then. We've got to fit this one on here in a minute, and that's Riley's choice. Good choice, Riley. Right, we'll take this off now, Riley bum.
I don't like it, Bob.
Take that off there. And the reason we'll take it off is because we had all oil spilt.
What's your daddy?
Yeah, and as you can see, we've got all oil residue up in here, which we don't want. And also we've got oil on top of a coil system. Yeah, I've got to fire the compressor up in a minute, buddy. You won't like that either. Yeah, bit of fluff, that's okay. So all oil up here as well,
Yeah.
which we don't want. You guys getting that? My little Riley boys come out to give me a hand now. That's what he does. He just flits in and out, flits in and out. He's now broke up for half term, so he's got not a lot to do. So he'll be helping the old man out.
Well,
Yeah, you are helping, mate. You help every day of my week, don't you?
Yeah.
Hey? You're a good boy, aren't you?
do.
This is the coil that sends a spark to here,
How?
and when the engine runs, this little, like a weather vane, opens up and that gives you a revs.
Where?
But Dad's got to put the compressor on and blow it all off. So shall I get my compressor?
Yeah.
Right, let's fire it up.
How?
It shouldn't be too loud. There you go. Give it a squeeze on there, that red one. See that red lever? Give that a squeeze. Go on, just do it. You'll be okay. Daddy's with you. There you go. See, just there, look, see? Just there. That's all it is.
How?
Yeah, let Daddy do a bit first. Nearly done, mate, yeah. That's the best of the compressor bit done. Okay, that's all compressing done.
I help?
You are helping, Riley boy, you know that. So we can now put back on the pull cord assembly. Let's just check the condition of the pull cord. Yeah, it's in good condition. Let's check it all the way down, because that's where it tends to rub more. It's not brilliant in places, but it'll do.
Where?
It will certainly do. It doesn't warrant changing just yet. Just here, buddy. See, here, look, come around here, look, so we can see you. Come around in front here. This piece here, you pull back, you see, it goes backwards and forwards. You can try it then, go on. You got it? Put it backwards and forwards. That's it. Don't let go of it, because you'll smack that in the tops. That's it, good lad. Right. Okay. So let's put the pull cord assembly back on. And when you put these on, Riley, you'd be very, very careful.
Why not?
Because you don't want to pinch the HT lead. It's a little tiny gap for it to go just there, you see. Right, that's that fitted. So it's just the 3 bolts to fit back on.
Okay, right.
Which are, what size are the bolts, Riley? 3/8. So say 3/8, Daddy.
Yeah, Daddy.
Good boy, that's it. Let's put these little 3/8 in here in.
I help.
You can help, you're always helping me. Aren't you?
Well.
That one goes in there. Sits up to there. Then go on the other side. And with your special exhaust guard you wanted, which is that one, hang on myself, Daddy see what he's doing. That sits on there.
Help.
Yeah, you can help in a minute. That goes on there. So that fits lovely. A new exhaust guard or second-hand exhaust guard going on. Just got to have. That is ratchet.
What's your voice?
That is ratchet. That goes on there. And then one on the front, Riley.
Okay.
Which is being a bit of a pickle. A bit like you. You're a bit of a pickle. And that's that one on. Nick that up.
Why not, Daddy?
Eh?
Why not?
Just nicking these up, buddy. So it all fits together. Good, good. Right, let's give the old petrol tank a bit of a clean off and bring that back in. Cool, and whilst I was in the shed, I've actually managed to find the grass box to fit it. So we've nearly got a complete engine all bar the blade, which I'm quite happy about. So this engine was actually running with no issues. So I just want to give this carburetor just a bit of a clean off. So I'm just going to get a bit of tissue to put in here. I've got some stale petrol here and just give it a bit of a clean and tidy up. That's all I'm going to do. Okay, so that's the carburetor tank just cleaned off. As I say, it was running fine, it wasn't hunting, so there's no issues there. Just when you put these back on, just make sure that your O-ring and plastic clip is intact, and your governor spring assembly just goes on the only holes on top of the arm. Push it onto the tank whilst lining up your rubber elbow. Push that all on, and as long as everything's okay, it will just sit in like so. Make sure your vane moves. Give it a wiggle. Here.
Where?
This one. That's it. Okay, let me find the nuts and bolts, Rider boy, myself. You want to go on the other side? I know you want to try and get in that camera. You're on the other side then so they can see you. And they'll say hello to you. Go on the other side. That's it. That's it. That's it, now we can see. Come around a bit more. In. To me. That's it. Let me get you in a shot. That's all you want to do. You just want to try and get on the camera, don't you?
Hi.
Yeah, that's it.
Sorry.
Right, and then that 10mm. You're alright, mate. No problem. Oh, a cuddle for the old man, eh? Yeah, a bit few and far between these days. Yeah, Mummy's at work, isn't she, today? Mummy's at work, that's why we're out in the garden. Taking full advantage of it. Aren't we? Right, let's grab a half-inch.
Honey?
Yeah, half-inch.
Why?
I'll put this carburetor back on.
I'll help.
You already are helping, son, just by being out here with me. That goes in there. And let's do that up. Right, I've just got to find a blade now to get on this machine. I know there's one in here. I very rarely throw anything away. Whilst it's had time to sit on its top for a little while, it can give me a chance to check that oil level as well. Hey, let's do that one up. I'm going to use that same air filter one I cleaned out.
Why not?
Not the one that came with it originally, because that was filthy dirty, Riley, wasn't it? So I'm going to be using that same air filter. So it's clean enough what we need.
Where?
That goes on there. That goes in there, Riley.
Here.
Screwdriver.
I'll help.
Give it a twisting. Twist it. That's it. Keep twisting. Well done. That goes down there like that.
Ow.
Lovely job.
Ow.
We've got one more.
Whoa.
One more to go on here,
Here.
which is your
Here.
exhaust guard bolt.
Oh.
That one goes on there. Good boy.
I do it.
Yeah, you are doing it. You're helping, aren't you? And then we've got one more to go on the back, which is your
Here.
dead man's handle
Like a sound.
one, which wants a slightly smaller socket. Got to fit this dead man's handle cover.
Why?
Just going to give it a quick blow off with the old compressor. Very quickly.
Wookie.
Quickly, yeah, compressor. Right, let's get this dead man's handle cover on. That's on. Check the oil.
Oil?
Yeah,
What oil?
because Daddy tipped it up,
Your
and it
phone?
is just pretty much just under the maximum. So I put a little bit in a bit. I want to run it up first because it's bound to smoke a bit anyway. So
Oh, nice.
right, let's go and find a
Aw.
blade. Let's go and find a blade to put this on, Riley, because it needs to have a blade. I know I've got one somewhere. Let's have a quick look. Well, I knew I had one, and there's a blade now all on there.
Well,
There's a spark plug up yet. There's a blade all on there. I don't want to tip it up on the start at the minute, and
Where?
it's not striking any way, shape or form. You mind your fingers. That's it. I've got one on.
ow.
I'll get you. Oh, all right, sorry, I didn't mean to get you. Right, so let's try and fire this little lawnmower back up. I've got to do the bolts yet as well. I've got to tighten them up on the handles and cut them off with a grinder. But that's about as far as we need to get with it. So let's get it on the floor and let's try and give it a fire. Right, I haven't tried to fire this up at all. Just literally just put a bit of oil, WD-40 on the wheels, put the HTD cap back on. And that's all I've done. So let's see if it'll start. Let's give it 3 or 4 pumps.
Huh?
Yeah, pumps. You stay there whilst I fire this lawnmower up. Okay, so I'm convinced it's going to be running fine. It's a bit smoky, but that's why I've had it tipped on its side. So I'm going to get my clamps, tie the dead man's handle off, and then just let it run down the bottom of the garden for 10 minutes and see how it goes. Okay, so another little fantastic fix and a typical back garden, backyard fix. So this lawnmower came in as a part exchange and I gave the man just £5 for it as it was a running concern. The engine wasn't running and the deck was no good. So all in all, this mower actually cost me only £5. I haven't used any new parts on it at all. Literally all the parts I had were what I saved up over last season in my shed. So that's fantastic news. I've got to do a few little jobs to it, just a few self-tapping screws to hold the handles in place. I'll put a new spark plug in and just a general tidy up. I might even take the blade back off and give it a bit of a sharpen up, but this lawnmower is up and running. It's had a 5-10 minute test. I need to give it a bit of a jet wash off, get rid of the excess oil, and then I should top it back up with neat fuel again and give it another run and check the oil again. But all in all, a fantastic little fix. It just goes to prove that you can make a little bit of profit out of these engines, even the ones that don't look like they're much cop. It always pays to look past that. If you can get the engine running and get it off and you have a spare body, then you can then get another lawnmower up and running. We thank you today for watching this episode of Micks Mowers from myself, Mick, and from Riley. We hope you enjoyed it and found it very, very useful, and we will see you again on the next one.
Ooh.
Do you feel the